Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone and Steph Zamorano.
Hi, Jimmy.
Oh, my God, you're drinking the bugs.
I am so not a thirsty Romplacone. Thirst is quenched.
Fantastical. Hey, guess what? Did you see this? So, Ronald Reagan did amnesty for undocumented workers or undocumented aliens in the 80s. Conservatives hated him for it, and then they forgot. He did it. They forgot. They love him. They want to put him on Route Rushmore. They've named the airport after him in D.C. They loved him. They forgot. They forgot he did it. So George Bush tried to do immigration reform in 2006. They didn't let him. They didn't let him. He was going to work with. They didn't let him. But now Trumpy. Turns out Trumpy, who's super racist and stuff, super white supremacy. Trumpy is, and. You know, I used to think he was just doing that to pander for votes, but I really think he's like that. I thought Trump was just pandering to the white supremacists and neo-Nazis and whatever for votes. That's what I thought.
Well, he certainly has the history for it. I mean, you can trace back to
his dad.
His dad when he put out that ad in the newspaper for the heads of those
Right.
5 black guys that were later innocent of the murder.
right.
He never apologized. Still stands by what he did.
Didn't they have
discriminatory housing practices? I mean, list goes on and on.
Yeah, right. Discriminatory housing practices. So guess what? So on Wednesday night, they had a little meeting. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi went to the White House, had dinner, and they had said they had reached agreement on DACA, on young immigrants. They reached an agreement. Let's see what it said. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said on Wednesday they had reached an agreement with Trump to tie measures to grant Dreamers legal status to border security measures, but not to a wall. So that's their negotiation. They're going to have tougher security enforcement at the border, but not a wall. And then so that's what the Democrats will do for Trump, and Trump will do for the Democrats. He'll make it a way for the Dreamers to stay in the country. That was their deal. They said Trump had made clear he would continue to demand a wall, and that they had told him they would oppose it. Okay. And Trump is saying we'll get the wall on another deal. Boy, did his base not like this. So Trump was all on board ski for it. And then over at Breitbart ski, report Trump caves on DACA, wants quick amnesty for 800,000 illegal aliens. And they put a picture, we are here to stay. Sean Hannity, politicians are supposed to keep their word. Republicans failed on health care, broke their word. They have failed. The President of the United States needs to keep his promises. And if the President of the United States doesn't keep that promise and goes for amnesty, it will be the political equivalent of read my lips, no new taxes. That's what George Bush's dad said in 1992 or 1989 or 90. And then he went ahead and he raised taxes. And that was the thing. They never let him live it down. That a gaffe like that could sink a guy. Imagine if he said half the stuff Trump said. A gaffe like that could sink you in the early 90s, saying, read my lips, no new taxes, and then you raise taxes. Weak Republicans have betrayed voters, needs to stay the course and keep his promises, or it's over. Sean Hannity not messing around. Or it's over. Whatever that means. That sounds ominous. It's over? Pelosi and Schumer can never be trusted. Here's another headline from Breitbart. Families of illegal alien murder victims confused, angered by possible DACA deal. Entertaining it at all is reprehensible. Entertaining letting the DACA people stay is reprehensible. That's the headlines. And of course, they go right to, if you went to a Trump rally, which we did, the Trump rallies would bring up people victims of crimes that were committed by undocumented immigrants. And they would say, see, they're all criminals, even though, statistically they don't. So that's called a manipulation of the facts to inflame. Right. So that's called propaganda. And that's what this is. That's what they do. Look, all the families are upset. So that happened. So his base went crazy. Sean Hannity went crazy. Breitbart went crazy. Even Ann Coulter was on his. I mean, everybody was on his ass. Everybody was on his ass. Trump. So then Trump this morning gets up and goes, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No deal was made last night on DACA. Massive border security would have to be agreed to in exchange for consent, would be subject to vote. He's like, whoa, whoa. So he's saying, don't believe what Nancy and Chuck told you. Now, the reason why the Republicans were willing to believe on this is because Trump just went behind their backs and did a deal with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to keep the government open. Remember, they have to raise the debt ceiling. So that's why they're upset. That's why they believe he's doing this, because he just did it to him a week ago. Then his next tweet was, the wall, which is already under construction in the form of new renovation of old and existing fences and walls, will continue to be built. So they're renovating first. You got to renovate first. You got to get a new kitchen in for that wall. You got to get a new bathroom for the wall. That's what really breaks up the value of the wall. New bathrooms and kitchens. That's what people look at.
I wonder how many estimates they got on this wall. I mean, you're usually supposed to get at least 3 estimates, right?
Well, I wonder if they got any Mexicans to bid on it. Another tweet. So that was at 3:20 a.m. This is at 3:28 a.m.
Which is his prime tweeting time.
This is prime tweeting.
Between 3 and 5 a.m., that's when he knocks it out of the park. That's when you get those Trump gems.
So he starts to go back. Now he starts to waver the other way again. And he says, does anybody really want to throw out good, educated, and accomplished young people who have jobs, some serving in the military? Really? Exclamation point. You know what? To me, that guy sounds like Bernie Sanders. That's what that sounds like. Mm-hmm. He sounds like a lefty liberal saying that stuff, doesn't he? Does anybody? That's what we've been saying, knucklehead. And now he's saying it. Isn't that funny? So here, I have a theory of what happened, but I'll get to that. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. I think the theory is that the business leaders came down on Trump. We're like, hey, don't be an asshole. We need those people here.
Because how much money was going to be lost if we lost this 800,000?
In 10 years, Ron found one statistic that said $400 billion would be lost in the economy. Billion would be lost in the economy over 10 years if they did this.
Mm-hmm. With the GDP, and then you also have the cost of deporting. Yeah,
deporting them is like $10 billion.
$10 billion, and then you also have the DACA people. They contribute taxes, and
right.
That's another $2 billion.
Right. So there's lots of losses that are if you do this, and so that's my theory. I think that the business leaders, somebody leaned on him, or a bunch of them leaned on him, or he just figured it, or someone told him this is going to be horrible for the economy, and you still have 3.5 years left on your first term. Maybe you don't want to tank the economy in the first 6 months of your presidency. By the way, there's a recession coming because we've been expanding for 10 years. They never go longer than there's always going to be a downturn. So a downturn's coming. Anyway, but that's another video. He then tweeted at 3:35. So that was at 3:28. 3:35 he tweets, they have been in our country for many years through no fault of their own, brought in by parents at young age, plus big border security. Doesn't he sound? Who does he sound like? That he sounds like Nina Turner. Who does he sound like to you? He doesn't sound like a Republican.
He sounds like he has compassion, which
right.
Yes, that outs Republican. Yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like a Republican.
So he doesn't. That's weird. That's weird. Republicans never say that stuff.
No fault of their own.
No fault of their own. So here's what. Then he said this too. So he met with the pool reporters. He says, "We're not looking at citizenship." He says, "We're not looking at amnesty. We're looking at allowing people to stay here." So it sounds like he's doing this, and it sounds like he's going to try and appease his base.
I don't understand how it's not amnesty.
We're going to find out. He says, "We have to be sure the wall isn't obstructed because without the wall, I wouldn't do anything. It doesn't have to be here, but." It doesn't have to be here, but they can't obstruct the wall if it's in a budget or anything else, Trump told reporters in Florida, according to a poll report. He added that he would only do it if we get extreme security, not only surveillance, but everything that goes with surveillance. If there's not a wall, we're doing nothing. So, again, it's not clear what Trump's going to do because it sounds like he's on both sides of this issue.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the wall, and I'm going to keep 800,000 people here.
So here's a prediction. Yeah, she's going to build that wall to keep those DACA people in. Oops. Because let's remember, we already have net zero new immigration from Mexico, which means just as many new people come from Mexico into the United States as Mexicans already in the United States go back to Mexico. So if 1 million new Mexicans come in every year, 1 million Mexicans leave. So we have net zero. Get it? Immigration? You get that, right? Okay. So that's awesome. I told you Trump would rip up his party. It's happening. It's been happening the whole time. He's attacking Jeff Flake and everybody and Mitch McConnell. I mean, again, it's great. And there's been a lot of successes running right now. Progressives winning in Trump districts, heavily Trump districts, where progressives are winning. Now, we're going to do that story. That's another video that's coming up. So check that video out. So this again, what I said, you have to govern. Now, you have to actually run the country. You have to actually make people's lives better. You actually have to do things. So the Republicans, they ran around for 8 years. We're going to repeal Obamacare. They got a chance. So it was all talk, right? Because they can't do it. So here we. So what do you all have to feel about this? Have you got any feelings on this? Any thoughts?
I just get the impression he's doing what a politician will do. Say one thing and do another. And he keeps us guessing what he's possibly going to do next.
I think he's going to try to pretend he has a deal for a wall. He's going to say, yes, we're doing DACA, but we have a deal for a wall, and they don't really have a deal for a wall, and then the wall gets defunded, or there's never funding in place for the wall, and then he says, wait, I had a deal, but they wouldn't fund it. He's going to find a way out of it.
He's going to have some scapegoat in place. Yeah, because they're saying, like, we didn't, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, we didn't talk about the wall. That wasn't on the table, but we have a deal. And then Trump, well, without the wall, there's no deal. There's nothing. There's nothing without the wall. So it's like, okay, well, something happened in that dinner meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially when he refers to them as good people.
And oh my God. And he says they came here through no fault of their own. And why would you want to get rid of them? They have jobs and they're working and they're in the military. It doesn't make sense what he's doing, right? So he's firmly on both sides of this issue. That's what's going to happen. He's going to say, we got a deal for a wall. We're going to keep the DACA people here. And then he's going to complain that they screwed him on the deal for the wall. That's what's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'll be super surprised. But, I'm not a visionary, like I said, so it's 100% chance I could be wrong. But that's what it seems like. I can see things in my rearview mirror a lot clearer than I can going forward. So we'll see what happens. I think this is, for me, everything they've tried to do, they've screwed up. Everything they're not able to do. They tried to repeal Obama. Can't do it. So they're gonna this DACA thing. He got leaned on by business leaders. They're not gonna do it. I think they're going to do tax reform, but they will get that done because the Democrats will help them.
Yeah, and I just think I don't see the wall happening. I mean, it is just such a gross waste of resources that I think politically would eventually sink him.
Yeah, I mean, just the logistics of the wall is crazy, right? All the private property rights and all the lawsuits that's going to happen because of it, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah,
and just doing it logistically, a lot of it's water and private. Again, it's just right.
Well, he backpedaled right away too.
Right.
I mean, on like literally day 2, he was like, "Well, in some parts, a fence is going to be cool.
Yeah, some parts it'll be a wall.
It'll just be in other parts it'll just be a metaphor.
Yeah, Some parts it'll just be like a laser. It'll be like a laser. We'll just have a big laser from California to Florida. Big laser. If anybody crosses it, we know right where it is. Believe me, he's going to find a way to get out of building the wall. He already got a way out of making Mexico pay for it. They're not paying for it. We all know that. He already got out of that.
I believe it's pronounced Mexico.
Mexico. All right, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about Canelo. I'm going to watch Canelo Alvarez against Triple G this weekend. Hey, everybody, we have 2 live Jimmy Dore shows in September. September 25th, we're in San Diego, and September 18th in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right there. There's a link right there.